We still have a lot of questions regarding the Sonic movie 3, what characters are going to be in it, what are the plot lines going to be, and today I thought it would be fun to discuss some of it before a trailer drops, because we're only a matter of days away from something being released. I just know it. My Sonic senses are tingling, if you will. Hello everybody, I'm OCDsaster, and this is OCDsaster Blue, my Sonic-only channel in which I just upload Sonic content. So if you like Sonic content on YouTube, this is the place to check it out, and I encourage you to check out some of my other videos after this. As I said, Paramount has been keeping the information of Sonic Movie 3 under lock and key, and fans are itching for some news and a trailer, because a trailer is out there. We know it exists because it was at CinemaCon a few months ago, but we just haven't seen the footage in public. We know some of the content in it based off of people, describing it, but our eyes have not seen it yet, and everyone is just giddy with anticipation about what this thing is going to look like, including myself. Now, I've already done a few videos in regards to Paramount and some of their business practices and how we can use those as patterns to determine and speculate about Sonic Movie 3. I also talked about whether or not I think Amy or Rouge will be in Sonic Movie 3 as well. Spoiler alert for that video, I don't think they're going to be in, and I just kind of wanted to carry on that conversation further, because as everyone knows, the Sonic movies are adaptations of multiple Sonic games. Most of the Sonic games are used as reference within the movies, but are not major plot points. You don't see chaos in any of this, for example. And yes, there's a lot of Sonic Adventure 2 elements and Sonic Adventure elements within these first two movies, but that doesn't mean just because Shadow is coming in for Sonic Movie 3 that we're going to be getting a one-to-one story, beat-for-beat Sonic Adventure 2 story. I don't think that's the case in the slightest, actually, because there's a few things to consider. One is the budget. As much as I would absolutely love to see all these characters in their hyper-realistic CGI form, it's a lot of money. So that's a big proponent to why I don't think we're going to see like Rouge or Amy in this movie, because it's going to be a lot of money, and we already have human actors, human characters that can take over certain roles and not cost Paramount a bunch of money, which they don't have right now because their company is going under. As much as people don't like the humans in the Sonic movies, they're there for a reason. It's to keep it grounded. And I think they are branching a little bit further away, but as the Knuckles TV shows, they're still embracing human characters. So I don't think Amy and Rouge are going to be in it because of this fact. Moving further on, the Sonic Adventure 2 story is pretty complex when you think about it. Yes, it is a kid's game for children, but there's a lot of big sets and big moving pieces that I think will be a part of Sonic Movie 3. I believe that, Gunn will be a big role in this. I do think that we're going to have the Space Colony arc, maybe even Professor Gerald, Dr. Robotnik's grandfather, where you'll probably just have Jim Carrey playing as Dr. Gerald in some sort of way. But there's certain things that I just don't think they're going to pull off. I could be wrong completely, but I think it's kind of crazy if we have like the prototype Ultimate Life Form and have like that final boss that we do in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. It's kind of out of nowhere, and there's a lot of build up in the game to that, but when we come to a 1.5 hour, 2 hour movie, that's going to be a lot to see. Do I think Shadow and Sonic are going to go super? Absolutely. But I think the enemy is most likely just going to be Eggman. Because, once again, Jim Carrey is such a legend. I think that it would just be a waste of his time and talent if he's not the biggest antagonist and proponent of these films. So it might end up being that he's the main protagonist. He tricks Shadow into doing these evil deeds. Gunn mistakens Shadow for Sonic, or vice versa, and Sonic gets in trouble and needs to get through certain things, figure out who this hedgehog is, what he's about, and then they turn on Eggman, or maybe even a stretch, Dr. Gerald does have an end-of-the-world plan, and everyone has to team up to stop it. But I don't think it's going to be this big grand finale from Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. I think it's going to be too convoluted and too complex, too much money. It's probably going to be a little bit more grounded, a little bit more secured than that. And we also have to have different missions and different roles for different characters, because now we have Knuckles, we have Tails. We all can't just be on the screen at the same time. They have to be doing different things. So it's going to be interesting to see how they pull this off. You also have the element of there being another world, another universe where Sonic and his friends are from, so that could also tie into this a little bit. it's not going to be one for one. I'm tired of everyone saying that this is going to be Sonic Adventure 2 for the big screen. It's not, and your expectations are going to be severely disappointed if that's the case. You need to go into this as if it's a new story that just features Shadow and some maybe Easter eggs and proponents from Sonic Adventure 2. So I want to know what you guys think down below. What do you think is going to happen in this movie? If I had to do a broad brush of what's going to happen, is Gunn releases Shadow. He kind of goes crazy on Gunn because Gunn, you know, did stuff to Maria. Now, if they're going to change that for the movie, I don't know whether or not they're going to show Maria dying or not. But Shadow's going to have all these demons and stuff like that in his head. Dr. Eggman's returning. He's overweight. He's now like his full Eggman form. He's going to somehow convince Shadow to join him. It might even be easier in this case if they really do keep the Maria storyline, because that's Dr. Robotnik or Dr. Eggman's cousin. So he can just be like, hey, like, let's go get revenge for her. They take on Gunn, and either Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles help Gunn take down Shadow and Eggman, or Gunn is like the middleman and somehow, like in the games, confuse Sonic for Shadow, and Sonic gets captured, and it's this whole, you know, inner turmoil thing where the like, internal thing I should say, where they're like fighting Gunn and Eggman and Shadow at the same time. That's where it gets a little bit muddy, but then towards the end, we're going to have Eggman probably turn on Shadow or do something that Shadow's not going to like. Shadow's going to change sides, and it's going to be this whole thing where they team up and either go after Eggman or team up go after Dr. Gerald's evil invention or whatever. It could go a lot of different ways, but the things that I definitely don't see happening is I don't see a complex ultimate life form backstory. I don't see there being a proto life form. I don't see there being a, you know, ginormous emphasis on this bio lizard is what I'm referring to. I don't think Black Doom will be in this. That's really a deep cut, and not mainstream Sonic fans don't know who Black Doom is, and it's just going to make Shadow's backstory even more convoluted when we're just now introducing him. So I don't think Black Doom will be in it either. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I think they're going to keep out from Sonic Adventure 2 and from Shadow the Hedgehog. It's going to ease people into Shadow as a character, and then he's probably going to get his spin-off series. That's what I think. So it's a lot of ifs, buts, and maybes. But I think it's going to be a pretty grounded story. It's going to be the heroes versus the villains. Then one of the villains is either going to turn against Eggman, in this case Shadow will turn against Eggman, or it'll be something where Dr. Gerald had a backup plan in Space Colony Arc. It's still a laser or something, and then they all have to, you know, work together to save the day, go Super Sonic, Super Shadow. I definitely see that happening. It would be cool to see a Super Sonic versus Super Shadow. We've never seen that before. That would be pretty crazy. I don't know how that would work, though, because Shadow is an anti-hero. He's not just a straight-up villain. So we'll just have to see. I'm probably going to be able to have more of a sense of what this movie's going to gravitate towards once we see the trailer. It's coming out in a few days. I'm telling you, I can sense it. What do you guys think once again? Let me know down in the comments. I know I've been rambling. I'm very excited to see this movie. I'm very excited to see details eventually come out about it. I am a huge Sonic Adventure 2 fan, but like I said, I really don't think the movie is going to be comparing it one for one. I'm OCDsaster, and I hope you have a super Sonic rest of your day. See ya.
Created him, Shadow, to carry out the revenge on all those who live here on Earth?
He was what he was, a brave and heroic hedgehog who gave his life to save this planet. Shadow the Hedgehog.
I guess you're right.
As a child, I looked up to my grandfather because of all the great things he accomplished in his life. He was my hero, and I wanted to be a great scientist like him. But did he really mean to destroy us?
I don't know, but what I do know is we all did it together!